Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Only Trams. You're joining me today for episode number 12 in the series. Now I don't know about you guys, but I can't believe it's gone on this long so far and there's still so much more to come. So in today's episode I want to have a look at the current line that we've got here, which is the tools line. And we're going to be making some massive changes to the map in today's episode. Because what I've realised is we've put all this effort into making a line here that's producing tools. We're bringing the wood from the forest here, turning it into planks at the sawmill, taking it up to the tools factory, and then those tools are being delivered into Slough. And at the minute, Slough is the only city that's using those tools. But if we click on Slough, as you can see, we're now delivering the total amount that Slough wants. So until we can grow Slough some more, production's sort of leveled off, and we're not going to be able to make any more money from this route. So what I want to do is look at some ways that we can increase the demand for tools. Now, from having a look around, Newark wants tools, but only 6. So it doesn't really seem worth our while at the minute until Newark grows to be taking tools down there. And then if we look up at West Bedlington actually needs 34, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. But if we were to bring tools all the way up to here, we'd have to look at something that we could bring back. I mean, we could perhaps look at bringing tools here, picking up some food from at West Bedlington, maybe at the main interchange here, and bringing the food back to Newark, where Newark needs 103. But what I want to look at is getting a new sort of industry up and running. And I'm looking at this goods here because I've noticed that we've got coal, we've got iron, and we can make steel here. But then I was looking and we need plastic. So I pulled up the industry tab here, and if you have a look in here, the only place we've got that produces plastic is the Canterbury Chemical Plant, which is all the way down here. So somehow we need to be able to get this plastic to a goods factory, and the only way we can do it, I think, is to just drag it up across the whole map. Now, what this will enable us to do by setting this up would be to have a new line set up, making the crude into oil and then into plastic here. And then we'll have to take the plastic all the way up so that we can make goods and then take the goods into Slough on the return. And that will hopefully boost the size of Slough, but also increase the demand for tools in Slough. And what I'm thinking then is on the way back, if this plastics tram that takes the plastic all the way up to the goods factory then brings goods down to Slough on its return, it could then pick some tools up, some of the excess tools from this line, and bring the tools all the way back down here, drop it off at the cargo hub, which can then get delivered to Bexhill-on-Sea and Dareham via this Conmat line that's currently delivering construction materials to Bexhill and Dareham. So that's the plan for this episode, guys. It's going to give us plenty of excuse to use some new trams that we've unlocked recently. And mentioning that, I do need to just kickstart this. Thanks for the overwhelming amount of comments on the last video as well, guys. It looks like you're all in agreement that we are okay to jump forward when there's not a lot happening in terms of new vehicles coming in. I know we are due one here. This is the one that I was waiting for. And I'll just give you a quick sneak preview of this. It's this GM22, and you can see that it goes 37 miles per hour. So in terms of cross-country, we've gone up from 31 to 37. And the CE2s are 25. So that enables us now to start doing these longer routes without suffering too much. But I want to use multiple different kinds of tram on this route. So for a start, I think we're going to set this plastics run up first. We want some country roads. Medium country roads with a limit of 50 is fine. We want to have electric tram tracks. And then we need to go from here. I'll tell you what, let's have a look at the buildings first and what kind of depots we've got. Because I think now that time's gone on a little bit, we have unlocked a few more of these depots. As you can see here, I'm not sure on here if we can set up tram lines. That's my only concern. I don't think we can with these, actually. They might be a no-go for this series. Oh, that's unfortunate. I wasn't aware that on these, to be honest, guys, that we couldn't have... we couldn't set tram lines. You can see here straight away we get the option for tram lines. So it may be a case of... That's the modular one, isn't it? I've not used this one before either. So I think we'll use the standard one that we've been used to over at the logs factory here, picking up crude. We want Terminal 1 to have electricity. The connections are fine. Do we want a wall around this? I think a fence is probably okay for us. We'll go for higher capacity. Footpath, we don't need lighting. Number of terminals 1. We'll have the low connection. There we go. I was looking to see if we can have, well, how long these are. So our terminal length, here we go. I want something quite long in here so that it looks like it would do the job. So that's connected in there. You can see it's highlighting the crude oil well in white there. It says there's too much slope there. But there we go. That works. So we'll be coming down the road this way and in. And then we want to go to country roads here, get some electric on the road. And then we want to head down this way, all the way down the main road. And we'll do it all the way to the oil well. Now from here, we're going to want to cut across. So where we build this may need thinking about. So I want to pull this down so we've definitely got that oil well in capture. And I want to avoid these crossing over each other. So it's going to go in there and out there, and then I don't want him to cross for a bridge. So I'm actually going to put the bridge this side here. So if we get country road again, and I think I might do the bridge first here. Actually, we're not going to have any boats, are we, on this map? So we can just sort of flatline this straight across, which does make things a little bit easier for us. And it'll keep up that speed. But we're going to have to look at the bridges, because we're sort of starting to unlock more now. Wouldn't mind a little bit more of a modern bridge. Don't want something too garish. That steel's quite nice. I think we'll go for that. So bring that in, and then we need to keep heading roughly towards this plastics factory here, I think. So we'll head this down. Oh, still don't understand if it's something I'm doing that's causing it to sprawl out like that on the way. I think we'd be okay to actually sort of send this around the corner here. Nice gentle curve, there we go. We've got the catenary all the way down. So that'll pull us in, and then on the way back with the plastic, we won't be overlapping at all because those guys will be turning straight round. The only place we may overlap is at this end here. So we'll head back that way with the plastic. So let's just get this set up for now. And if I connect in, I'm just thinking how we can get from the depot now. If I upgrade this line here, then the trams will be able to come from one of the depots over here. That'll be fine. That works for me. And now what I want to use for this line is these PCCs, the President's Conference Committee. Now, I do have to admit, guys, that these, I was in two minds whether we use these or not, because they are mainly American. I had a look on the wiki page for these, and although they were made in Pittsburgh, as it says here, they did eventually get used all around the world, even the Netherlands and Spain, so they were used in Europe. So with this being a European style map, that works for me, and I don't mind using that, if you like, to our advantage. It works for me. I'm happy that they were used in Europe, so we can use them. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to tell it, sorry, at the first stop here, we want it to load on crude. We want it to unload plastic, because it's going to bring plastic back. Then when it gets to Canterbury here, we want to load up on oil, and we want to unload the crude. So we're bringing crude, we're unloading it, we're picking up oil. Then we're going to bring the oil down, and of course, I've forgotten to put the actual stop down here. We'll go for an era. That has bugged me a little bit now. I'm going to have to... Let me just do a little bit of a trial here. If I was to do this and then upgrade this to electric, can I do it? I can't. Okay. That's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping we could use those for the trams, but obviously not. So for now, what we'll have to do is stick in this same one, and I'll have to have a look off camera to see if we can find any other versions that we can use with these on this map. So if we connect in here, and I want to actually, if we stick that on a 45-degree angle, it may just allow us to keep up a little bit more speed here coming into the depot. Just trying to see which way is going to work better. If we say none, we can connect in like this. There we go, that works. So now that line that we were just creating, after Canterbury South, we want to arrive down here. And what we need to do here is load up on plastic. We want to unload that oil. Now for some reason it's not letting us connect these, and I'm guessing it's this little bit of road here. We want to upgrade to electric, and hopefully that's now on line 1. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so this is going to be TF for tram freight, and it's going to be Canterbury Plastics. Fat fingering everything here today, but there we go. So, Canterbury Plastics. So now that should bring oil, crude oil, and turn it into oil, bring it to plastics, and then the plastic should come all the way back. Now it's not going to produce plastics at the minute because we have nowhere for those to go. So we need a line that's going to set plastics up, that's going to go all the way to here. And we already have electrification coming all the way to here, and then just into the city. Yeah, I don't mind just skirting the outside, or do we actually? Because we are going through residential. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how bad the emissions are. If we turn the emissions map on, it's quite low at the outside of the town here, so I think we should be pretty okay with that. I might put a bypass link in just here, just to avoid the most. Actually, yeah, we'll do that now. I feel like that's the right thing to do. And I'm going to want country road just so nobody starts building on this. I'm going to pull off here, connect in. We will delete that one building, and that way we can send our new line all the way up to here. Now I want to think about this depot here because we're going to be bringing steel in from the back here, and then we're going to be going out the other way. So we need 2 ways into this depot. We're going to want at least 2 terminals. We're probably going to want more than 1 way in, unless we do as we did before. If we can connect in here like this, I don't like what it's doing to terrain, so we'll smooth that out before we place it down. But if we were to connect onto the end here, and everything come in this way, including the steel, and on the way out, yeah, I think that works actually for what I'm thinking in my head then. On the way out here, the plastic trams can go straight back down to the main road just in front there, and the steel trams can go out the same way and then loop around here and back up. I don't think that's going to take them too far out of their way, but we'll go for that. I do just want to try and flatten some of this terrain here though to make that work. I am still getting used to this new mouse, guys, so when I keep clicking out of menus and things, please bear with me on that. It's got quite a few buttons on the side of the mouse that for some reason I keep pressing them with my thumb, and I don't know why I keep doing that, but oh dear. I always seem to struggle with these terrain tools. What I'm trying to do is flatten this land down so that we can put this tram line on, but you can see it's just cutting into the side of the hill there. I think if I lower that, oh dear me. Okay, so if we lift that back up again, see the hill here. There we go. Wonder if I get this placed first and then do the terrain around it, whether that'll make it work any better. There we go, that's what I was after in the first place. I am still learning to get to grips with that, guys, so apologies for messing that one up, but I suppose we all have to start learning at some point. So now what I'm hoping is the plastics tram will come in and we'll send it in this direction, turn in, so we need to upgrade this road. Plastics tram will come in, it'll pick up, and then it'll head back down to where it's going to change in Slough. And then the steel line's going to come in at the back here, and then the steel line will connect in here somewhere, drop off, come down, and then go back up that same route. Then we need to look at where we're currently dropping tools off in Slough here. Again, we're going to need an actual transport hub, if you like, one of the cargo depots. So if we just go for an era, we do want some long platforms. We can even have 50-metre platforms now, which might be actually what we need here. I'll tell them to stop at the front end. So the tools was around here where we want to drop goods off is here. So I'm thinking we just stick it opposite here. I know it's going to mean getting rid of a couple of buildings for now, but in the long term, it's going to allow the city to grow around us, which is exactly what we want. We want more of this kind of building to grow around us. I'm going to pause it because we're going to destroy this truck stop and it'll kill that line for a second. But I want to make sure this looks nice and square because it's in the middle of the town. We'll take out those two buildings, leave a decent runoff, and then from here, I want a second street connection. We want some medium street. And then I just want to connect that in. I'll actually delete that. Just so it's nice and straight. We'll pull that out to here. And then we'll connect back in. Try and keep it in keeping with the squares of the town. So now, our line here. Now we've ruined that tools line. So let's see what's happening. We've got Slough Branch, South Street. We've got South Street. It can't connect to South Street. Why can we not connect to South Street? Is that because... Yes, it is. It's because I haven't put catenaries on this depot. We want electric. Hopefully now that's happy. It is, and it's already picked up that it's going to be here. It's going on the wrong side of the road here, actually, so we'll change this, and we'll put that as Terminal 2, so it can come in and go straight back out, and then we'll have the one that's coming in skirt the outside of the town here and go in this way and pick up on the other side, I think. That makes sense to me. So what we need to do is get that line in. We can hit play again now. From this side then, I'm going to need... Down here, I've just thought we're going to need a pickup here for plastic, aren't we? Well, when they drop off the plastic here, we'll have a separate truck stop. And we'll go for just a normal truck stop here, maybe. We can go for a 30 metre. Concrete's fine again. We do only need the one stop, though. So I think if we go like this, we connect this in just at the edge of the road here. Right, so if we create it here, it'll enable us to do some decorating a little bit later, won't it? And we'll go for a little bit longer than that, actually. Because these are going to be the sort of cross-country trams, aren't they? So we'll stick that there. They should be in range of each other, so when we drop off the plastic here, it could automatically transfer to this one. That works absolutely fine. So we're going to need a new line. I'm going to set this up now. Or actually, I'll tell you what, we'll set the line up, but I won't put any vehicles on it just yet. We'll go for a new line, and we want to go from here. I'll colour this pig, just so it's the same colour-ish as plastic, so we know what's happening. So here, all I want to do is load plastic, and I don't want to unload anything at all. And from here, then, the plan is for us to travel all the way up here and in. And we can drop off at Nottingham North. I'm going to choose the back platform here just because they'll be less frequent, I believe. These ones coming in. And then here, what we want to do is we are going to want to load the finished goods and we're going to want to unload the plastics that we're bringing on. Okay. And then so we've loaded goods and we want to come down to here in Slough. We want to pick up the correct platform. I do want to put a waypoint in though so that we come this way. So before South Street, I want us to go through this waypoint. Perfect. And then at South Street, what I want it to do is to load on tools and unload those goods. Loading goods and unloading plastic. And then we're unloading the goods, loading tools. Perfect. And then from South Street, then we want to go all the way. And I think here I'm going to put another waypoint in. I'm going to tell it to go via here. Just so we're not cutting all the way through the middle of the town. If possible, I'd like to go from South Street out to here. There we go. So we're avoiding the main town and going out through that main line that we put in to start with, that main route. This has already all got trams on, so that's not an issue. And then instead of going back into Louth Halt, I just want it to stop off the main depot here. And I want it to stop off wherever the Conmat's coming in. Let's have a look which terminal here is for the Conmats for Durham. So it's terminal number 3. So we want, after that slough waypoint, to come all the way here. We want to drop it off terminal 3. And all we want it to do there is to unload the tools. And then it'll carry on back to the start then empty. So the only part of this route this is going to be empty is coming back this way. And I think that should make us very profitable. So this is train freight. What do we call this? Because this is cross-country goods. I mean, it is. It's taking plastic, tools, goods. Cross-country goods works for me. Let me know if you're going to go think of a better name for that, guys. But before we start making plastic and kicking off the whole of that loop there, what we do need to do is get the steel coming into here. I also want to keep an eye on this tools factory and see if it will see. It should now start to see Bexhill and Durham as consumers, unless. Now I didn't think of this. A line that's currently dropping off Conmat, when this is picking up at Canterbury East, what have we got it? So we've got it set to only bricks at the minute, only construction materials. So we need to set that to tools as well. Do we want to go 50-50? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, for now, we'll leave it at 100 and we'll just see what happens there. Because we're not actually getting the tools down here yet. But now we've told it that it can pick up those tools. Let me just double check I sort of okayed that. I did, yes. So we can pick up tools. Perfect. And then we're going to be dropping those off. Because you can see here, Bexhill only needs combat and tools. Durham, it's 2 main things it needs, the combat and tools. So these towns are going to grow exponentially now. We'll be delivering both of their 2 key cargo needs. So up until now, we've got plastics coming up and we've got the export route. So all we should need now is to put these guys in. Actually, sorry guys, I'm thinking too much while I'm doing this. But what I do want to do is stick these GM rat, and don't worry, we will have a ride on all of these new vehicles at the end. I want to have a look at these guys. And don't want crude, I want plastics. Want to make sure, yes, these boxcars can carry all 3 things that we need, plastic, tools and goods, but now it's how many do we go with? 42, do we start with 28? I think 28's fine to start with. What I want to do is put this 1 on the line for now, just so. Oh, we've got an issue here, could not connect all stations. So where can it not connect? From Louth Halt to Nottingham 2. So somewhere along this line, there's an issue. Okay. Let's have a look at this then. So we're going to upgrade with electricity. We've already got electricity all the way along here. It's working up to here, so we know that's right. All the way along this route we have electricity. It's turning here for some reason, so that would say to me it's somewhere up at this end that it's not working. I'm probably missing something glaringly obvious here, guys, but please do let me know if you see this. Here we've got electrification all through here. Let's just double check that line. So we're trying to get, it's Nottingham North that we're trying to get to. It can't find its way to here. Just wondering if it could be along this route because nothing travels this way anymore. Obviously this used to be one of our main passenger routes, so I believe it's all still hooked up. It is hooked up to here. And we know this bit's all good. Outside the depot looks fine. That's all connected in. For some reason it can't make it. Okay guys, leave it with me. I'll put in a little cut here while I try and figure out what's going on and why it's not connecting. Right. Okay guys, I'm going to bring you back in here, and I found out something really interesting. Now, what it was is I noticed that if I come down here, I've gone through all the roads multiple times and couldn't figure out what was going on. If I go into the managed line and I change this Nottingham North to platform 1, it works. And then I realised this second terminal's gone in here, and the second terminal's gone in without electric tram. And that's what was causing it all along. So now we'll go back in, I'll change that back over to where I wanted it as number 2, and we are good to go. So that tram should now be on the line and on its way. It is. And as you can see, the new top speed of 28, it's already moving. The one thing I do want to make sure this does, or actually I won't do it just yet because I want it to kickstart the route. I do want to make sure that it's bringing a full load from down at this end. You can see here is now loading up on plastics. So that means that they know that that factory at the top end, consumer, yes. So it's now got the supplier, sorry, as the chemical plant here. The consumer. There we go, the consumer is up here. So what we need to do, now we've got that in, we've got no consumers here yet because the steel isn't in, but we need to get that steel in now, as soon as we can. So we want a road with electrified tram track to come across here and up towards this steel mill. And we're going to need to upgrade this road out the front. If we put the roads in first, I think it's going to make more sense. So we want to electrify up to the coal mine here. And then we want a new road that's going to link from here. I wouldn't mind that being the T-junction, like so. There we go. And then from there, we'll take that around. That connects that in nicely. And then we need to get from the iron. Maybe we have a tram tunnel. We haven't got a tram tunnel yet, have we? Should we tunnel under this mountain? It looks like this road would naturally be becoming a tunnel anyway. So let's go for that. If we upgrade this part, we have a nice curved road. We curve through. I want to keep it flat. We'll come out. And if we look to come out sort of heading down towards the side of this factory here. There we go, that looks great. So not only will that be more efficient because it's more of a straight line, you can see we're unlocking more and more trams now as time goes on. Yeah, not only is it more profitable and more efficient because it's direct, we're avoiding the town as well, but it's also going to be our first tram-based tunnel. Actually, no, Talalay, it isn't, is it? I'm forgetting that we have the nice little cut through here. Up by the farm down near Durham, and well, between Durham and Canterbury. I forgot about that for a second, but either way, it's still going to be the most efficient way of us doing it there. So now, what we want to do, we want one way in and one way out here. I'm not too sure what we're going to want. Where are we going to want to come in and out? I think just a standard depot is going to be our best bet for this. We're definitely going to need 3 platforms at least. Or actually, we just need drop-offs for the coal and iron, don't we? We only actually need a pickup. That's a good point. We only need a pickup for the steel. So we actually do only need the 1 platform here. And I could literally just put this along the line. If I change that around and I go here, if I can join into here after. If I go like that, that's connected in. And then if we just use the usual little truck stops. The thing is, I don't like the idea of these guys turning around in the middle of the road. But if we avoid that, tell you what we'll do. We'll do something a little bit unconventional here. We'll have 2 truck stops, left and right. And then we'll use the same trams to pick up coal and drop off, pick up iron, drop off, pick up coal, drop off, and then we'll connect this guy in. Yes, 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 yes. That works for exactly what we want. And then we're going to need a tram depot, and we'll stick one of those out here because I believe there's going to be a lot of action in this area once it all gets going. Now we're going to want new lines around here. So for coal and iron around here, shall we use the fast ones again? Or is a top speed of 28 enough? I mean, we can carry 22 there. We've got to wait for the steel to come. So I think we will have some more of these President's Conference Committee trams, actually. How many do we want here? This is for both. We'll start with 10 and see how we go. Because this is going to be for the coal and the iron. We need pickup points, though. I haven't put those in yet. There's always something. There's that much that you have to remember in this game that it's easily done to forget something. So we'll connect in here like so. And whilst I've got this out, we'll go and put the iron one on the other side. Would it be better to have it this way? Maybe. 30 metres in length, that's fine. We'll go for as far back as we can to give us a nice join in before the tunnel here. Like so. And then we need to connect this side in. A nice gradual turn, like so. Actually, that's actually a little bit sharp, isn't it? I think it's because we're already on a bend turning off here. I think that's why. I don't think we're going to avoid that. And there's quite a bit of an incline there as well, but that'll work. We'll be slowing down coming into the station anyway, so I'm not too annoyed about that. Okay, so here now we've got these guys. We're going to go on. We already started making the line, didn't we? Let's finish that. So line 1, we want to add this station here. We want to wait for a full load, and we want to load up on coal. Okay, we don't want to unload anything. And on the way back, we want to stop on this side of the road to drop off. Then we want to go and pick up iron, where we want to wait for a full load, and we'll tell it that we want to pick up iron ore. We don't want to unload anything there. But then on the way back through at Green Lane again, we want to drop off. And then this is going to be TF. It's calling this Nottingham, so we'll go with Nottingham. And it's the ores, isn't it? So we'll pick sort of metallic minerally colour, I think. I know iron's more of an orange, but so what, we'll go for that brown, then more of an earthen colour. So that should start bringing ore in now, and then we need a line, just a little line in between these two. And it does make me think, is that loop gonna be a pain for us? Should we just have another exit? Can we add another exit to this? I don't think we can once this guy's built. No. Oh well. I was thinking if we could add another one at the back there, we could come back round, but... So for here then, all we're doing is moving steel. So we want something that's a little bit cheaper. Maybe we'll go with a George here. Yeah, let's change this to steel. There we go. And if we just go for 25... But no, we'll go for 28. Why not? We'll go for the longer version just to keep it moving, and then we'll colour that a nice steel colour. And we want a new line for this. So from the Nottingham Annex here, we want to load full, and we just want to load on steel. We don't want to unload anything. We want to come down to the goods factory. We want to drop off, and we only want to unload. So that's going to be TF. It's going to be Nottingham Steel Delivery. Let me know, guys, if you've got any good sort of naming conventions for your lines. As you can see, all of mine have got TF or TP. That just stands for tram freight and tram passenger. And then I use when I'm playing a playthrough with all kinds of vehicles. T is normally for train, so it would normally be train. Passenger train freight, but then because we don't have many trams, then I just write the word tram. But yeah, let's see what happens here. These guys are I think we're gonna need to already, looking at the length of this route, I think I'm already gonna need to start sticking more vehicles on here. I'm just gonna go for it. we're going to clone this because I'm hoping this is going to make us a hell of a lot of money. Now we'll have a look at these new vehicles. But before we do, on this cross-country line, now it's all set up. Want to make sure we've got... We'll go for 6. I want to have a look at these. As I was saying, guys, these presidential conference committee, they were made in Pittsburgh just after the war. And they were known for being one of the quietest trams at the time, and that's why they ended up being ideal for passenger transport. Obviously, we've got the cargo mod on, so we're using it for cargo at the minute. But they were one of the first trams to use a lot of sort of rubber bushes and springs in their parts that made them quiet, and it's one of the things that they became really well known for. They were eventually used, as I said, in lots of countries. I mean, the Netherlands, Spain, even down in Australia they had a few of these. But the main places of use were America, Boston and Pittsburgh I believe were the main two, but then also in Canada they use them a lot. See, now we've got, that's interesting to see the plastics coming out in bags. I hadn't seen how they transport plastics before. But these guys getting at 28 mile an hour have got a fair journey. It might even be worth us later on changing these to those faster trams. I mean, they're all going to get faster eventually anyway, aren't they? But I think that just sort of comes with the game, I suppose. Now I wonder which depot those new trams have just come from that we've ordered, because I wouldn't mind having a look at one of those new ones as well. Here we go. So this is one problem that was mentioned in one of the last videos, and it's something that I have started to become aware of, but one of the things that I was sort of expecting at the same time. And it is that we're getting stuck behind a lot of traffic now. And it was a comment by Matthew Farrell actually on the last video. And he was sort of suggesting to come up with a way of keeping the trams and the roads separate. Because in real life you don't normally have road traffic travelling over tram tracks. There is normally crossings now and again where they overlap. But as a rule, the cars don't drive on the tram tracks. So the only thing I can think is if we start having bus lanes, and I'm not sure if we're through to the time yet. We are actually, we have got bus lanes. So if I was to add bus lanes in here, I'm not sure if it will separate them as it does in the towns. It doesn't. But, so we'd have to go for a 4-lane road, wouldn't we? If we go for a 4-lane road, that should allow the cars to now bypass, which it does. So I think down these long straights here into town, we'll upgrade those. That'll enable us to keep up the pace ourselves, but also not interfere with the traffic too much. So you can see the traffic can still flow now. We've got this bypass through the town here, which is medium street actually. So again, I think we'd have to go, even if we go bus lane here. Yeah, see, it still doesn't separate. We need this 4-lane street here. So before they start building on it, we'll introduce that. And then we'll go for the 4-lane road all the way across the map here. And what I may do, guys, is do some of this offline and actually start upgrading it bit by bit. As you can see, that's causing us a problem because of the depot, so the road would have to be reshuffled there. I can look at that, that's not an issue. Because at the minute it's going to funnel in and then back out again. That's not ideal. Because I've got all these assets here, we're probably going to have to move the road out for that one. The bridge here, if we can 4-way track the bridge, that's not an issue. Try here again, we've got a similar thing here because it's bumping into the depot. But we'll upgrade these all the way up just to the outskirts, or actually we can go past the outskirts here, can't we? Of Edgware. There we go. Ah, it looks like air travel's now a thing. We won't be using that in this series. Couple more trams here, the wine type L4. That looked like a long one. It's probably going to be back to passengers in the next episode again, guys. If you've noticed, I do tend to try and do a freight episode and then a passenger episode. Now, apologies if you're not someone who really likes these longer episodes, but this one, because of the amount of work we've had to do in it, has had to go that way. I know most of you tend to like around the 20-minute episodes. This one's going to be probably somewhere near double that. We can see now, Luke, that we've got tools waiting on this line for South Street. which means that the tools factory must now know it has Dareham and Bexhill. It does, because it's putting tools on a line to be sent down there, which may mean now we're ready for more trams on this line. In Slough, we're still getting the 35, and the excess is just going. We've got 309 wood waiting here. So I think on this line, I'm just going to straight away add another 2. We'll see on that. I don't want to overdo it because they're not too well spaced out already, this line. You see, one's just pulled in here, and I'm hoping this guy's going to go past his. So they are separated as much as we can, really. These guys, at least they're running half full all the way. I could do with thinking of a way, really, that takes tools from here up and brings something back so that we've got no empty loop. But then I suppose these guys coming down would come down full of planks, and they would go all the way back empty anyway, so at least they're going back half full. But the problem is, for the first half of the journey, they're half full as well. Yeah, I'm not sure. We can look at in the future bringing some food and fuel down to here. Food could come down from Nottingham, as we said. We could take some tools up from here to West Bedlington and bring some food back down. All the rail, all the electrified network even is already in to be doing that. So that shouldn't be an issue. So what have we got here? We're just waiting for some iron now. It looks like the first ones are coming through now. These guys look like they're bugging out. They must have been the new vehicles. Ah, no. Something's not right here. It looks like it's stopping on the wrong side of the road. There we go. There we go. Now it's getting rid. Yeah, what had happened is when we were coming from the coal originally, it had got the wrong side of the road as the stop. So it was flipping around, stopping, and flipping around again. Looks like we've got rid of that now. Just want to make sure that that is bred out of it. The problem is, see, when you see it on a terminal or an actual truck stop, it'll show you the number of the stop above them, but it doesn't when they're at the side of the road like this. So I just want to watch this for a second and make sure nothing's swapping round. Get someone who's coming in here from dropping coal off, make sure he drops off and then disappears again. So he's dropped off. It's a long time waiting now. So yeah, that's fine. These guys are dropping off iron, I believe. We'll just check this guy. Drops his iron and then carries on straight on. So he's dropped his iron ore. He's gone straight off. That load time does seem really slow though. Let's have a look at that. What is the load? It's 4 times loading speed, so it is the same as everything we've got so far. Interesting that. Interesting that it takes so long for that to start working. Right, where are we? So let's have a look down here. We've got... they aren't waiting for full load yet because I forgot to tell them to. So at Loutholt, full load. I know I said we'd come back and do this. There we go. So now they should wait. And it may be a case of there's just not enough coming back from down here at the minute. But that's that line fully set up, guys, and we should start to see some tools coming back now. Yeah, there we go. This guy's got tools. This must be our first set. Yeah, you can see here, look, with the traffic building up. All of this needs, we're going to be doing it, all of this needs buzz lanes as well, just to keep them separate. And I think in the next episode, we're going to be probably looking at getting rid of these guys and upgrading them. But what I think we're going to do is use that special passenger line that we put in last time along the coast as a bit of a heritage line from now on. So any of the passenger lines that we're getting rid of, and we want to keep one of each of the old trams, we'll just sort of start adding them to that network. So we can have a look at all the old ones and we're not losing that. So you see, we've got these guys because they can do 28 mile an hour, but they're just getting stuck. I mean, they would get stuck behind these guys anyway, that are due an upgrade, but... So there's not much we can do about that, but at the minute we're holding up all of the traffic here. So all the way up to that depot at least probably needs bus lines, bus routes. What am I on about? Bus lanes. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, but this one here, guys, I think we'll put in a little connection off the main road here, or maybe just here, this side, and so we can connect in. And then from anywhere on the map, because it's all connected up anyway, we should be able to just send them onto this line then. And we'll use this as our little bit of a Heritage line. I do really like this tram station. This is probably one of the nicer ones I've seen. Let me know, guys, if you know any better ones than this. Or actually, I'll tell you what, I really need you to let me know is if you know any good truck stops that can have the electrified tram track in. Because that's a bit of a letdown for me. I was hoping we could start having some of these ones that look industry specific and start making it look a lot nicer. So that's a bit of a pain for me that hasn't worked. But right, guys, that is where we're going to leave it for this episode. We've achieved quite a lot in this episode. We've got a completely new industry set up in the goods. We've now got goods getting delivered into Slough. We should have started receiving those, but we haven't yet. We've got no plastic for some reason. But as long as we've got suppliers, we have got the suppliers, so it knows the supplies coming in. Let's just double check if we've got anything coming with plastics. We have here, the first plastics deliveries are coming up now. That'll kickstart that. We'll have goods going into Slough. So we'll leave it for this episode and we'll keep a check on this. At the start of the next episode, maybe we'll have a quick look to make sure that goods are being delivered. We know that the tools are sat here waiting to go. We've got 38 there. And this guy's can carry 28, so we're going to go straight back with a full load of tools. It's absolutely ramping up the progression over here for the tools line. We've got another 15 about to come in. Slough's now increased. Oh no, we're taking a little bit away from Slough actually. It was already full on 35 because they're now sat on here. But ultimately we've increased that demand by a hell of a lot. Our total demand for tools was only 35. We've now added 50 from Bexley and 118 down at Durham. So that's going to absolutely increase our profits massively on that tool line as well. So guys, thanks a lot for joining me. As always, I appreciate you all watching. If you've made it this far, make sure you hit the like button for me. If you have got this far and you've got some kind of value out of the content, please do hit the subscribe button. We are rapidly approaching that 1,000 subscriber mark, which is where I start to get a little bit back from all of my efforts. So that would be greatly appreciated. If you have any tips or tricks, or any advice or mods that would be good for this playthrough, or for the Only Passengers playthrough if you're watching that one as well, then please do drop them down in the comments below. I appreciate all of them and I always make sure to read them all. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.